Who that family? Check out the Pro Shop. That's right, the Pro Shop is the platform store where you can go and buy all the latest merch to support the platform. Available at the Pro Shops, we have dozens of hundreds of products available for you and your family. Unisex tees for men and women, hoodies and sweatshirts, tank tops, kids and baby items, long sleeve tees, mugs, pillows, wall art, bath bedding, face masks, phone cases, stickers, bags, fanny packs, socks, hats, and many other items. Please feel free to check out the Pro Shops. The link is in the description section below. And remember, it helps the platform continue to grow. Check out the Pro Shop and who that too.
You're listening to the Pelicans postgame report on the PRO Media Network for all things Pelicans.
Your shorthanded team tonight. Tremendous defense in the second half to give yourself a chance. And you came up short, but can you talk about the effort defensively, especially in the second half, that will allow you to get back into?
Yeah, our guys, I thought, fought really, really hard and played really, really hard, communicated with each other, did a good job on the boards. We said the other day, even before we lost all these guys, you want to play winning basketball. You don't want to beat yourself. Don't turn it over. Get back, defend, rebound. And you want it to come down to making shots or not. And I'll say today, that's what it came down to, and then I was disappointed because we got ourselves a chance to win even to the last defensive possession, and got the turnover. And I just, you kick yourself as a coach because you want to draw up something that'll create an open shot, and you don't, and it's frustrating, very frustrating. To not even get a shot at the end is frustrating.
Well, curious, Coach, on that last play, were you going for the three? Were you going for the win, or were you trying to get just?
We would have taken whatever, right? I mean, so we had 3-point looks to hopefully spread the defense because you know that they're not going to want to give up a three. So you want to be having 3-point threats so that the defense is spread out, and then you take whatever's on the inside. So I don't think I gave Bled enough room there to see the floor. So frustrating.
Stan, just kind of in that vein, I don't want to nitpick the final, 2 plays because of how well you guys played in the game, but what would you have done differently to operate defense there?
Well, I thought the play before, if you're talking about the one where Billy set the step up on Lonzo, I thought we had Billy on the roll. He was open. We just didn't see him. He was wide open. So I really don't know. You're managing clock. We got 2 veteran guards out there. We're going to play through them at that point. I don't know who else you would play through at that point. So I'm not upset that I chose to play through those 2 guys. I trust them again Sunday, Monday, whenever we play. Maybe I could have given them a better look, more room on the play, whatever. But I think with the group we have, those are the guys you're going to have to play through in those situations. And I trust them to do that, and I'll do it again Sunday and Monday.
Yeah, what did you think about that first half from Jackson and just his overall growth on offense?
Yeah, listen, his energy level was unbelievable. And, when he plays with that kind of energy and uses his athleticism, he can make a huge, huge impact on the game, and you guys know that's something we've talked about with him all year. When the energy level's up, he makes an impact on the game. When his energy level is not up, then like with most people, then you're going to struggle some. And tonight, that first half was an incredible performance.
Stan, obviously a weird day for your team, your franchise, whatever, with the Zion stuff. How do you felt like your guys reacted to it, and how do you feel like they kind of go through these last, 5 games or so of the season, knowing that a lot of roles are about to change, and the way they kind of reacted to it tonight?
Well, they knew it going into the morning in the walkthrough, and you saw how they played. And again, they had a really rough second quarter and got down. And there's probably a lot of people out there expecting, oh, shoot, they're going to die, and they didn't. Like, no matter what happens the last 5 games, okay, that storyline should all be dead after 67 games about these guys and, oh, they let down and all of that. It'll come down to how well we play, whether we're good enough or not good enough. These guys are not going to quit. They're not going to give up. They are not going to throw in the towel. They're not going to let go of the rope, whatever analogy you want to use. They've proven it for 67 games. They're going to bounce back, and they're going to compete. They went out there without 5 of their top 8 guys tonight, got down by 16 at the half, competed to get back in it, had a chance at the end. We've just struggled, as you know, to finish out those games, the close games, but not for lack of effort, not for lack of resiliency, or any of that. So, that storyline should be dead no matter what happens in the last 5.
From a team perspective, is that one of the things that you would say you're kind of that you take away the most, that you're the most proud of? I mean, you never know what you're going to get with the team as you go through, a really up and down season. Is that, no matter how you guys finish, is that one of the things you take away that, is at least a positive regardless?
To me, it's the biggest positive. And if you're looking at team things, not individual, the biggest positive to me is our resilience. That to me is the biggest positive we have on this team. That, there have been so many times. I mean, if I just think back to you guys doing these sessions, how many times I've been asked, usually by Jen, but nonetheless, how many times I've been asked, how will they respond after that loss? Or somebody came back on us and beat us, and, how are we going to respond? I mean, that question has come up a million times, right? How are you going to respond? And nobody does anything all the time, but I think overwhelmingly the response has been good all the time. And I think if you're a fan of the Pelicans, even if you're not a fan of the Pelicans, you've got to have respect for that, if nothing else.
For all things Pelicans, you're now tuned into the Pelican post-game report. This was entitled Pels Lose to 76ers 109-107, a close one without Zion or BI in the matchup. So much love to the Pelican flock. Thank you guys for tuning in on this edition of the Pelican post-game report. And very tough loss. Pelicans without their top men, missing only a 2-point loss. A lot of mistakes there, but ultimately they fought pretty good. Now, they could have cleaned up some stuff, but in the end, they come up short to the Sixers here as we keep this thing moving. We're going to bring into the show. I'd like to thank all you guys for chiming in on this installment of the Pelican Post-Game Report. Big Q in the building. Co-host DC is also in the building. How you doing tonight, DC?
I'm doing good, man. Feeling a little better after watching the game. I know I'm not supposed to, but I really feel good being a Pelicans fan, man, to see them go out there and put their heart on the floor and give everything they got, man, and make a very valiant effort to get the W, even though they came up short. I think they tried their best, man, and this is what you want to see, you know what I'm saying? Win, lose, or draw. You want to see a team go out there and lay it all on the line, man, and, whatever the results are, the results are. So I'm happy with them, honestly. I'm not happy with that last play, but overall, I'm happy with my Pelicans, man. I'm proud of them because no Ingram, no Adams, no Josh Hart, no NAW, no Zion, all of that. And I mean, and we had the lead for a nice little stretch in the fourth quarter. I mean, they didn't get it, but we realistically can't, be upset that they didn't get it. I'm just happy that they haven't given up, and they still trying to fight, man. And that's what you want. You don't want to become losers and just doormats and people run all over you. So, shout out to the Pels, man.
Well, I mean, doormats, Pelicans are fighting, still making quite a few mistakes, but the effort, you see them really fighting. And of course,
Hardly any turnovers this game too, Q.
I know it's still, we were just shorthanded when we needed to close. We needed that extra production. But very proud of how Jackson Hayes plays in this matchup tonight. I mean, Jackson has several other Pelicans as well. Jackson put up 19 points tonight, 12 from Wyndon Gabriel. He was up there hitting 3-pointers and everything, 3 of them tonight. KLJ threw in 13
Well, I
points.
remember two dudes kept saying, "Oh yeah, that he should have played." It's the two guys, bro. They've been saying it. They've been saying it since the off season.
Dig into your bench. That was the mantra. Billy. That's how we discovered Billy Hernan Gomez. That's how we discovered that William Gabriel can play. And it's a shame because we could have been getting his hustle ability, his plays, and his stuff a lot more. Najee Marshall was another stern example of us. We were saying about that. But ultimately, at the end, we are getting reasonable work from
Kyra.
these guys. KLJ, right? Another guy. Well, that's what I was saying about the young people. You're gonna need them at that span of time. And tonight they had serious contributions in the matchup, DC. And speak to us about Lonzo Ball. 34 minutes, he was able to get 18 points and 17 rebounds, maybe 3 assists in the matchup. But he was trying to do some stuff. And of course, Bledsoe threw in 18 points today. A lot of people are going to be like, okay, get rid of Bledsoe because of the boneheaded play at the end of the game. But let's talk about Lonzo. And then, of course, it always seems to always come back to Bledsoe in some kind of capacity, doesn't it?
Well,
really don't want to center it on him, but it always seems to come
he
back
was
to
the
him.
guy tonight, man. I mean, he had the most minutes. In crunch time, you saw who Van Gundy put the ball in his hands. So he was that guy for this team. Him and I would say Lonzo down the stretch. Lonzo made some big plays, man, defensively as well as offensively, man. He was getting his hands on passes all over the court, man, and hustling out, running the shooters. You know what I'm saying? He was setting people up, but we didn't really get a lot of assists tonight. But I thought it's Lonzo, man. He does a lot of little things. He tells people where to be. He definitely thinks the game, and to see him be a lot more aggressive. He didn't have a good shooting night tonight, but I'm happy as long as he's aggressive, man. Try to get to the cup. Get you some layups. Take some mid-range shots. Don't just shoot threes. And he's been doing that, man. And if he keeps doing that and going on that type of trajectory, Lonzo Ball is going to keep getting better because all it really is just him, believing in himself and understanding that, hey, I'm 6'6", I'm a point guard. I'm bigger than everybody. I'm fast as hell. I'm faster than a lot of people, you know what I'm saying? And I know the game, and I'm a lot smarter at the game than a lot of my peers. So shout out to that guy. It's probably the most positive you're going to hear me about a loss because I really felt like the Pels could have won this game.
Should have
And,
won.
they didn't have enough talent, and the execution on, these last plays, they could have did better there, but it just wasn't meant for them to win, man. That's just how I'm looking at it. I mean, you're without both of your stars. Philly got both of these stars. You know what I'm saying? It'd have been nice to get it, and maybe if we would have had a perfect setup with of rotations and minutes and some type of way utilize Eric Bledsoe better and not allowed him to make a boneheaded mistake at the end of the game, which, I mean, in his defense, like he couldn't see the dude, man. He couldn't see Lonzo wide open, and he tried to make the best pass he could to Herman Gomez. But what you gonna do, man? You gotta live with it. At least they least they were still in the game. Because realistically, I don't think a lot of people in America was giving the Pelicans a snowball's chance in hell, bro. Because you go into Philly at home, and you just finding out Zion missing the day of the game. Like, it ain't like we knew this, 3 days ago. They just found this out today. Man, that's a lot.
They responded in kind in a lot of positive fashions. But if you look at the statistics of the matter, you notice that, what's sticking out to me is the 3-point shots. They were 9 of 36 shooting the ball for 25%, while Philly was 15 of 35, almost 43% from the downtown. And when you have that poor amount of shooting going on, it's going to be problematic. And the Pelicans did convert 16 of 22 from the charity stripe. That helps out their cause. But you can see by effort on defense, they're a microsecond late from cycling to make blocks on balls, and just to phase out of reality. It's just a stepper so out of reality for making a defensive play. Jackson Hayes was really good in this matchup. Lonzo, to a degree, played pretty decently too to keep them competitive. But ultimately, not enough plays for us to be able to take this one from them as we go down, 109 and 107. And then, of course, like Stan the Man Van Gundy mentioned, the fact that the Pelicans, didn't get the shot up as he dribbled. As you can see, just right there, he drew the ball right off the knees of Billy Hernan Gomez. They didn't even get the shot up, So a lot of people are going to look at Chief Bleeding So and say, of course, he's the issue. He's the problem. Nah, they had a pretty good game. But like DC said, man, we were dealing with a lot of people missing. Zion missing, BI missing. Our heavy hitters are not in there. And then
you got your GM come out talking crazy to the referees and stuff all on the same day.
All that. It was a crazy day. And then yesterday, Najee Marshall's extension that they worked on to get Najee Marshall a multiple year deal, rewarding him for being here and doing what he's doing. So that was a positive, as the last couple of days was Pelican motivated. But DC, as we get ready to get into these team statistics right here, hold on, give me a second here. Let me get the statistics up here. And then we can kind of break into talk about that. As we go to the team statistics here, as you can see, the Pelicans, man, listen, man, 16 points in the fourth quarter. They only had 21. But we got to, the Pelicans defense were pretty good in that third, holding them to 18 points. Philly, that is, it's scoring 37. We just couldn't push it toward the fourth to close them out. 41 of 101 by the Pelicans, a lot more attempts than what the Sixers had, 38 of 85. They were almost 41% from the field. Sixers were 45% almost from the field. Pelicans, like I said, shot a disastrous 9 of 36 from downtown for 25%.
Sheesh.
While Philly went 15 of 35 for 43%. Pelicans was 16 of 22 from the charity stripe, almost 73% there. 18 of 22 by the Sixers for almost 82%. 52 to 51 on the rebounds advantage Pelicans. 26-27 advantage Sixers with the assist. 12 steals by the Pelicans versus 5 by the Sixers. They were tied 1 up on the blocks. And then, of course, Pelicans only had 11 turnovers in the matchup for 7 points.
3 of them came towards the end of the game, Big Q.
Right. 17 turnovers by the Sixers with 17 points off turnovers. 21-19 advantage Sixers with the fast break point, and that would really help the Pelicans in this one. They were able to get to the cup. Points in the paint, 60 to 34, almost a 30-point differential there. And, of course, the biggest lead held by the Pelicans was 7 versus 17 by the Sixers. Very proud of the effort despite the heavy guns, the heavy hands being missing. What steps out here, DC? I'm looking at the 3-point shooting. What about you?
Well, the first stat that jump out to me is 41-101 with the Pelicans, man, and 38-85 with Philly. That tells me the Pelicans was hustling their ass off, man. I mean, we couldn't knock these shots down, but we shot 16 more shots than them? I mean, that's impressive. But the fact that, we couldn't knock them down, man, so it kind of go to that 3-point line, execution down the stretch, which ain't going to show up on the stat sheet. But when you look at this 3-point percentage, 25%, 9 39 for 36. That's crazy, man. I mean, at some point we got to realize it ain't falling and kind of go away from that, which they did, but I think they chose to do that a little later in the game. Early in the game, I wish they would have did that. First quarter, they was shooting a lot of threes and stuff, and you don't have it going, and rightfully so. You got Bi. It's a guy that's gonna give you a lot of 3-pointers, ain't there? He's gonna give you at least 3 or 4 damn near a game. So they make it look a little better, and they gonna hone in on Lonzo. Or sometimes he might get a little cold or go through a little streakiness. Lonzo is a little streaky from the 3-point line sometimes, and we really don't have no knockdown 3-point shooters after that. I mean, William Gabriel probably was our best 3-point shooter today, and that should raise an eyebrow to the whole family because we had Nicolo Milli playing over him this whole time. So you mean do y'all remember a game this year where Nicolo Milli got three pointers at all? I don't even think he did that all year. Maybe last year, but not this year. But anyway, the other stat that jump out at me is the 12 steals though, Big Q. That's crazy, man. Like looking at these stats, it's like, damn, we could have got this one.
It was close.
We got 12 steals, bro. Then we dropped 60 points in the paint. On top of that,
Right.
that was kind of like when we figured it out. Okay, we're not going to keep shooting these threes, and they started tagging the paint. They was doing their thing, man, and you got to give them props, man. I know they lost, but Philly had us at the half, family. Philly had 70 points at the half. For the Pelicans to come out and hold these people to 18 points in the third and 21 points in the fourth and make it a game, I don't care, man. That shit is impressive. Without Zion, without Bi, that's impressive, man. That's all heart, determination, and will because they damn sure ain't had enough talent.
This is true. As we move to individual statistics to prove just that point, looking at what the Pelicans did with the backcourt of Lonzo Ball and Eric Bledsoe, 18 points apiece between both the guards. Lonzo, 34 minutes. He was 6 of 18 from the field, 4 of 13 from the charity stripe. From downtown, 2 of 4 from the charity stripe. He finished with 18.7 rebounds, 3 assists, and a couple of steals, but he also had 5 turnovers in the matchup. You look at Eric Bledsoe in 40 minutes, he by far outweighed everybody minutes-wise. 18 points, 40 minutes. He was 7 of 20 from the field. A miserable, incalculable, ridiculous, disrespectful 1 of 7 from downtown. 3 of 4 from the charity stripe. 18 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, and a couple of steals by Eric Bledsoe at the point position. And, of course, you look at other double-digit scores. And James Johnson, 10 points in 26 minutes, 5 of 8 shooting. He finished with 10 points, 4 rebounds, and a couple of blocks in the matchup. With Billy Hernan-Gomez starts there, 11 points for Billy and 9 rebounds, almost a double for him. And he had 5 assists in the matchup with a couple of steals for Billy Hernan-Gomez. Finished in the matchup with just 24 minutes. Najee Marshall also had 27 minutes. He was 2 of 10 from the field. His offensive game wasn't there. If it was, I think we probably would have definitely had an advantage here. He struggled real bad, and that's when he turned the ball over. As one of them, they're not listening, but I seen him remember him turning the ball over. 4 points for Najee Marshall in 27 minutes. He was 2 of 10 from the field, 0 for 5, ridiculous from downtown, but kept shooting them though. 4 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists from him. Nothing happening. Then we go on to the bench where you can see exactly what happened. Jackson Hayes was the guy that really sparked this team. Should have finished out 19 points for him, 8 rebounds, 3 assists, 3 blocks. He was doing everything in 24 minutes, 8 of 16 from the field, tapping things, and even tried a 3-pointer. He hit 3 or 4 from his charity stripe shots. Then KLJ got involved. 13 points, 4 assists, 4 rebounds in 21 minutes, 5 of 11. He hit that 3-pointer, that long 3-pointer, all he had in 13 minutes. And, of course, William Gabriel got involved. 12 points, 5 rebounds, a couple of steals. He had 5 personal fouls. He was very active. But in 21 minutes, he scored 12 points, was 3 of 7 from the field, and he had 3 of 5 from downtown to show you that I can shoot that thing. 3 for 4 from the free throw line in the matchup. And then, of course, you see Wessel Windu gets in there for 22 minutes, just gave him 2 points, 5 rebounds, mostly defensive stuff there as well. No NAW, no James Nunnerly, no Didi Luzada. All those guys held out. Pelicans just fall down by 2 to this Sixer team that was jam packed with everybody. They had Tobias Harris, who put up 17. They had Joel Embiid, who scored 37 and 13 on them. You had Ben Simmons, who struggled in this one, 4 of 8, but he had 8 points, 10 assists, and almost 9 rebounds, almost a triple double from Ben Simmons. Seth Curry, brother of Steph, had 16 points, 5 assists, and 6 rebounds. And the other double digit scorer was, guess who? Hill. That's right. Hill. Remember him? That's the guy we wanted. 11 points for him in 17 minutes. He's the only other guy there off the bench. So DC
11 points in 17 minutes, man.
George Hill.
And we got 18 and 40.
George Hill makes a hell of a difference. I tell you what, man, better 3-point shooter. I think better leader. He was a better fit for the Pelican organization. Unfortunately, his contract was what they wanted to make the deal go.
He's not a better defender, Big Q.
No, he's not. But
and
does
that's
that
why
really
we
matter?
don't have him.
Well, yeah.
Other than the fact that
they didn't want
OKC
his
probably
ass.
didn't want him.
They didn't want him.
Bledsoe.
They didn't want him. Go ahead, DC, with the individuals.
Man, 7 guys in double figures, man. I mean, that's, anytime the Pels usually do that, it ends in a victory. Not tonight, missing our heavyweights. You talking Zion and BI, that's what, 60 points damn near missing? That's crazy.
Yep.
Wenyen Gabriel, definitely, man. Not just the fact that he hit 3-3-pointers, but his defense, man, just his intensity, his effort out there. I wish he was able to probably control those fouls. We probably would have been able to have him some more minutes. I'd have liked to see Kyra play some more minutes and Jackson Hayes, man. I don't know what the philosophy was with Van Gundy. I know Jackson Hayes had to come out to get a breather in the fourth, but I thought he'd be back in them last 3 minutes. And we had the jump ball where they thought we threw it out and it didn't. And I saw Billy out there. Like, damn, why they not putting Jackson Hayes out there on the jump ball? Like, you think Billy gonna get this on Embid? Come on, you got to be kidding me. So I didn't like that. I'm wondering if those guys would have got a little more burn, man. Maybe if you bumped their minutes up to 25 for each of them, if this would have looked a little different. I like the minutes with Kyra out there with Lonzo. You know what I'm saying? That's when he kind of went on a little run. I mean, Kyra had a run where he scored like, what, 6 or 7 straight points back to back. You know what I'm saying? Like,
hit that little 3 and everything.
Hit a 3, help us get the lead. Him and Jackson Hayes out there bringing all that energy, man. We needed that down the stretch, in my opinion. I thought this would have been a perfect game for them to get some experience with trying to close out. But I get it. You want to close out with your veterans. Those guys got more experience. Like, I ain't knocking Van Gundy per se. Like, this would have definitely won us the game. I'm just curious how it would have looked, man. It would have been real nice to see it because I thought those guys were a big part of us having that blow up third quarter where we scored 37 points. And I think they earned the opportunity, especially with all the big guys down, at least 1 or 2 of them, to get some real, good late minutes, man, and kind of see what happened. I mean, we was all discombobulated down the stretch anyway. They couldn't have been any worse. But Lonzo Ball, I like what I saw from him. He had like 18. I think he only had like 3 or 4 assists. But he had about 2 steals, man, probably responsible for another 2 or 3 that he didn't get. He was always just causing problems with him, man. They had that zone and the way the guys was doubling and they was running out on shooters, man. Pelicans was doing their damn thing. Him and Bledsoe, man. I gotta give Bledsoe credit for his defense, man. I wasn't too crazy about his offensive game. He had a good little flow going at certain points of the game. Really, at the end of the game, and sometimes he come down jacking up these shots early in the shot clock. Like, I don't know what that's about, especially what we had tonight. I don't think we need that right now. But nevertheless, that's what was happening. And Jackson Hayes, man, damn near, I think he may have tied his career high tonight, I believe. But he had probably a hell of a first half, man. If he could have carried that momentum into the second half, maybe if he'd have got some more minutes, maybe he could have picked it back up. But he was killing them offensively, man. Willie Herman Gomez, he did all right tonight. He wasn't really impressing me, that 11-9. But defensively, man, Embid was just abusing him until they went to Jackson Hayes and we decided to go to the zone and then started doubling him and everything. He was abusing the hell out of Billy. But, I mean, we know Billy can't guard Embid one-on-one. So that ain't a shocker, but just really would have liked to see more Jackson Hayes and Kyra minutes, man. That'd have made my day. Whether we win or lose, it made my day.
Yeah, that's the interesting part about it. That you take a look at what the Pelicans done in this one. I'm very proud of this team, to be honest with you. They did shoot too many bad, unintelligent 3-point shots, in my opinion. When you see they're not falling, attack the rim. That's high basketball IQ. Shots not falling, just attack the rim, attack it, and then get to the charity stripe and keep that momentum in favor of your team. And of course they kept the turnovers down, and then of course with us being without our two big dogs, to carry the day and only lose by 2 to them, and they got all their people. Very proud of the Pelicans, man. That should show the entire flock something that they playing with some heart. They just didn't have enough when it came down to it. So I mean, we'll keep it moving on that, man. This was a tough one here to the Eastern Conference.
Don't get no easier, bro. They
No,
all gonna
don't.
be tough now, extra tough now without Zion. That fractured finger. We'll talk a little bit more about that later, but it sounds like Zion had a fractured finger the whole time in some type of way. If we're gonna believe Griffin, because I don't know Griffin, he got that. What we used to call Sean Payton Q.
You got that little lion up in them. That's what a part of that there.
Yeah, they were saying like
Man,
Zion's
that
been
man
playing injured.
Man speaks with forked tongue thing going on. That's the thing that he suffers with. But
Right.
anyway, let's get into the next breakdown here, and we'll cover the next Pelican breakdown here. We'll get into the matchup with the Pelicans coming up on the 9th. What they'll have, and we've got a couple of days from that one as they journey to Charlotte to take on the Hornets, who've having a pretty decent season for themselves. They're 33-34, 18-15 at home. Pelicans are 30-37, 12-20 on the road. Will be without Zion, who's listed as the top scorer there. They got Scary Terry, who's leading the day with 20 points a contest, 45 shooting from the field. Rebounds, Steven Adams, 9 rebounds per contest. And, of course, Lonzo Ball with 6. Graham averages 5.4 for the team. The Pelicans list continues to grow as we get close to the end of the season. Unfortunately, with all these injuries, Zion, which probably one of the biggest ones, is out. And according to what they're telling us, indefinitely. NAW still listed as out. You see Didi Luzada is there, is listed as day-to-day. Steven Adams is day-to-day. And
Wait,
Ingram
why
is
is
day-to-day.
what is Didi day to day with? How you get signed and you injured immediately? What happened to Didi? We got
That's
to
an
look
issue
into
for
that,
many
man. We
things.
gotta
Yeah,
figure that out, man.
you go to Charlotte, you look at Miles Bridges is out, so is Devontae Graham, Cody Martin, Gordon Hayward, and then Malik Monk is day to day as well. So a lot of their people are out, but in a couple of days we'll see how that moves forward. Team statistics: 115.1 versus 115.1. 48 flat for the Pelicans shooting the ball from the field, 47.2 rebounds, 26.2 assists, 4.3 blocks, 7.5 on the steals. Pelicans just lost tonight, so they're 5-5 the last 10. Charlotte's 109.5, but giving up almost 113 points, 45.7 on the field goal percentage, 43.6 rebounds, just under 27 assists per contest, 4.8 blocks, 7.9 steals. And of course, they won tonight. They're 5-5 the last 10 as well. So as you can see, the Pelicans splitting with Golden State the last couple of games. Hornets up and down the same as the Pelicans are, but in a better state standing wise. Then you take a look at the fact that the last matchup, Hornets got the best of the Pelicans when LaMelo got the best of Lonzo. This time around, Lonzo will get an opportunity to get some revenge on his brother and stepping his game up. He's in a better mind state now heading into it, I think. And as you can see, Charlotte is being productive in the Southeast standings with Atlanta, the top team there after making the move with Nate McMillan at the top. Miami is 36-31, and Charlotte's just under 500. Washington, then Orlando. Move on to the statistics here for the team leaders. Top points guys per game. Terry Rozier averages 20 points per game. Behind him is Gordon Hayward. LaMelo Ball averages 15.6 per contest, almost 6 rebounds and 6.2 on the assist, which should be the lead for the thing. Yeah, LaMelo is the top assist man. No, actually, it is LaMelo with 6.2 right there. Top rebounder from the club is 6.7 by Cody Miller. They saying Washington is Devontae Graham. As you see, they got him top assist is LaMelo. Top steal of man is Scary Terry. who would tear you up, and the blocks man is listed as
Yeah.
PJ Washington. So we took a look at their starting. Let's look at their. Hold on just a second here. Let me see if I could pull up their depth chart right here as well. And this is what the depth chart looked like as we go into Charlotte here. LaMelo Ball is listed at the top with Terry Rozier right there. Cody Martin and Bridges are listed as out. So we'll see some other guys in there. Perhaps we'll see PJ Washington slide to the power forward position. So Bismack Biyombo or Cody Miller will get an opportunity to play there. Then you got guys off the bench as well, like Caleb Martin, Jalen McDaniels, Brad Wanamaker, the former Boston Celtic player. But Hayward is listed out. He's a big part of their production.
Man, that guy is always hurt, Q. God
Yeah, I
damn.
know.
He's
Yeah,
always hurt.
He was born hurt. And then
He
you got
good when he play, but damn, he always hurt.
Malik Monk is listed as day-to-day as well. He could be a big factor in this game off the bench for the Pelicans. So without Miles Bridges, that's a big part of their success in Gordon Hayward, and their scoring is still very dangerous with the return of LaMelo Ball and Terry Rozier playing really well. PJ Washington gives them defense and rebounding. And then, of course, off the bench, depending on if Malik Monk there, he's quite the scorer. We should be able to get this win against Charlotte. Not to devalue in Charlotte, but we're going to be without some
up, bro.
So are we. So which one of the banged up teams get this one?
It's a battle of the balls. I told you the other day, bro. We have to see which one of them gonna let them hang. You know what I'm saying? LaMelo just coming back from an injury, but I mean, he's been dropping highlights. I know everybody in the scene is underhand full court pass they keep showing us, and all these other dimes he throwing. And I think he dropped 27 tonight or the other night, so he kind of catching his stride, man. And Terry Rozier, scary Terry. They got a hell of a backcourt, man, compared to ours. So we have to go out there and see, man. If Zion was playing, we'd have a hell of an advantage with what they dealing with right now. But we got to see, man, who wanted more. It's really gonna come down to that. Both of these teams are scrappy. You know what I'm saying? They both got hot. I like what I've seen out of Charlotte the last time, and I remember last time we played. LaMelo kind of balled out, and Lonzo didn't really have such a good game. So I think Lonzo probably gonna be a little locked in, bring his A game. He ain't had a worst game tonight. He ain't have the best game either. So he's got to stretch where he know he got to be the man. So it's really gonna come down to that, man. If Lonzo can give us one of those 24, 30-point games, I can't expect him to score 33 and all that. But if he does, I think it's definite victory. But if he could give us somewhere around 24 and we get our regular contributions from the other guys and they play decent defense like they was playing tonight, I think we take Charlotte, man. They banged up, man, and they missing some pieces they damn self. And this is going to be a hell of a game, though. It's going to be entertaining, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, it's definitely that. Now I'm looking forward to see Lonzo get some revenge against LaMelo in this matchup, man, to be honest with you. I'm hoping Pelicans definitely need to get this game despite our injuries and our limitations. We got to fight through this one. We've got to get this game against Charlotte. It will help greatly, as you will see in just a moment as we bounce to our standings, so you can see, first of all, the remaining schedule that we're facing right here. You see Charlotte is next up on the 9th, and right behind them that Monday, we got a tough Memphis club. And then 2 days later, Dallas. Then 2 days after that, Friday, it'll be Golden State. And then, of course, 2 days after that is the final, the regular season finale against the Lakers. So 4 games remaining, losing to Philly tonight. It hurt, but it's not damaging to you, what you're trying to do. A Charlotte win helps, a Memphis win helps, and it'll be close to tough games with Dallas, Golden State, and the Lakers. But, hey, if you got aspirations to get somewhere, this is what it is. We knew this going into it when we were 30 games out, that we knew after the All-Star week that the entire schedule, we did a whole second half schedule show, and we knew that the stretch of the last month or so would be a difficult stretch. As you look at the NBA standings in the Western Conference, you see where the Pelicans at right here, they're listed as 2 games behind the Spurs because the Spurs keep losing. The Spurs have lost 5 in a row. They're 4-6 the last 10 contests. And they're pretty much bottoming out. The only thing the Pelicans has to do is to make life harder on them by win while they're losing. So we could, we'll see how it all shakes in the end. But Spurs are ahead of us. Memphis are ahead of us. Dallas is ahead of us. The Lakers are ahead of us. Golden State's ahead of us. Most of these teams are what we have left on the remaining schedule that we do control our destiny to a degree. despite the injuries, we still got to show up and show out. We got to do what we got to do, family. And then, of course, like I said, some people saying it might be impossible, but they're only 2 games back of the plan with the Spurs there at the 10th position. DC, what are your thoughts on this? Looking at the Western Conference schedule, and of course, the standings and the rest of the Pelicans' remaining games. What we facing here?
I mean, we still got some room to be optimistic. It's real bleak. I know a lot of people was pretty much giving up, and it's like, oh, next year, especially with Zion being hurt. But I mean, you never know, man. We got to see it till the end. We ain't gonna act like this ain't happened before. I remember we had that year with AD where it came down to a game-winning shot in that game to make it to the playoffs. So we got to let it play out and see. I think the Pelicans still got a shot if they're able to adapt and play these teams. I mean, y'all saw they played the 76er team tonight. They got all their people back. Nobody wasn't hurt. And you seen what it was, you know what I'm saying? The Spurs, they didn't beat the Kings, but their schedule is pretty damn tough, man.
They
They
do
play
have
a lot
DC,
of
just to cut in right quick. I read off that statistic. It's wrong. Spurs actually won tonight, 113 to 104.
right.
They won tonight, so they were able to snap the 5-game losing streak at the hands of the Sacramento Kings in Sacramento. And you're right, they do have a difficult schedule remaining. As if I pull it up right here, you can see the back end of their schedule is right here with Portland on Saturday.
It don't get easy for them at all, boy. That could be 4 L's right there.
Bro, look, Portland, Milwaukee, Brooklyn, New York, and then Phoenix to close out the season.
Good Lord.
That is all
I
hard.
thought our schedule was hard, man.
Right. And then, of course, you're coming off the losses. They lost to a competitive Miami team, a tough Boston club. We just lost to Philadelphia. We beat them with our stars. Utah back-to-back. That's tough. They were able to get that win against Sacramento, but you got Portland, Milwaukee, Brooklyn, New York, and 2 Phoenixes. This is ridiculous. This is going to be hard. The Pelicans need to take advantage of this, bro, big time.
Yeah, man. I mean, Memphis, Charlotte, you know what I'm saying? I definitely think that's 2 we can get. That Dallas one going to be tough. Golden State is definitely going to be tough with no Zion. And the Lakers, I don't know, man. I don't know what to make of the Lakers, man. They're enigmatic right now, man. The Lakers all over the place. LeBron and AD can't stay healthy. But they're still a tough team, even without LeBron and AD. So we got our work cut out for us, but we can't look at it and act like it ain't doable. Like, we don't know what the hell gonna happen with the Spurs. You know what I'm saying? Then we talking about the Spurs. We don't even know what the Warriors and the Grizzlies. Like, they could start going through some stuff. Looking at all their schedule. So, man, you suit up, bro. You play who in front of you. You win the games you can win, and you deal with it one game at a time, like they've been saying. And you saw tonight that they not giving up. So if we can find ways, in my opinion, we got to find another scorer. Hopefully get NAW back. Like, that's a guy, he's been suiting up. He's doing no contact in practice, so he could be possibly coming back. If we get NAW back and he plays at the level he was playing before he got hurt, talking about getting you 18, 19 points, man, this is doable, man. We could get 3 or 4 of these games for sure. And looking at the Spurs schedule, I think that's all we're going to need.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what the Spurs dealing with. They got to pull out a lot. Pelicans got to put wins together they damn self with the next few games. We got some tough ones. Getting even with Charlotte. Then we got Memphis, Dallas, Golden State, and Lakers. That's not exactly a moon walk. It's not easy at all. So with that being said, man,
but it is doable.
It is doable. Anything possible in today's NBA. BI can come back and help spur this thing. Lonzo could take this game up to the next level. NAW can come back and help. KLJ could take it up to the next level. Jackson Hayes has been playing out of his mind. If we can get that production, we can sneak in a few wins here. It's not unfeasible to be able to catch up with the Spurs, especially if they struggle a bit. So,
man, we ain't on no Reverend Jesse Jackson stuff, Terrell.
We're gonna see.
Keep hope alive.
We're gonna see,
this ain't no hope, brothers. This facts, man. You see the schedule.
Right,
you see the schedule. Like, what? Come on, man.
You just let you.
Think the Spurs about to run through all them teams for real?
No, bro. Y'all got you. Listen, y'all, you in trouble. Big Sean, you in trouble.
The Spurs definitely got 3 losses. At their best, at the Spurs' best, they definitely got 3 losses. I'm gonna give them 3 at their best. You know what I'm saying? So if they lose 3 times and however we pull out a miracle and just happen to win all our games, which I ain't anticipating that. But if we did, you in. I think the Spurs might lose more than 3. You know what I'm saying? So we only 2 games back. So it ain't that hard, man. You know what I'm saying? It ain't really undoable. All they got to do is play like how they played tonight and find a way to close it out. A little bit smarter tonight. Playing somebody an extra 2 or 3 minutes, proper substitution, the better play call, better execution, just a few little things tonight. They would have beat the 76ers with all of their players. I mean, they got pretty much 4 top-notch guys, and they always healthy. We got Lonzo Ball. That's the best guy we had in our starting lineup tonight. So it's very doable, family, if they're gonna play like how they played tonight. Ain't no sense in throwing the season away. We still got 5 more games, and we gonna be here, and y'all acting crazy like y'all ain't gonna come in the chat and be talking about the Pelicans. You know how this go. Soon as they win the game and get shot, I think we finally gonna make it. Tonight we like, it's over with. We've been roller coaster riding all year, and it ain't over yet.
Yeah, when you're on the roller coaster, there's always a few people that's louder than others that's either in the front or the back when you're riding and you're having fun. Oh, no, we about to die. Oh, no, we all right. Oh, no, we about to die. It's always that instability. But anyway, Zion Williamson, according to the reports I'm seeing, they're saying he's out definitely. And they're also saying that about Ingram, too. Yep, Zion is out indefinitely with the fractured left ring finger.
Both his fingers, really, but it's something wrong with both his hands. But you got the Griffin interview? We pulling that, right?
Yeah, we're gonna talk about that. We about to peruse right into that next area of the show right here. Remember that DC peruse?
We're gonna peruse, huh?
I'm bringing it back. All right, so here we go. We're gonna listen to what David Griffin had to say. About what happened with BI, and he was quite animated in his view. Here's David Griffin on Zion Williams, his injury. Here we go.
Thanks for joining us. On the one hand, a very exciting time when a player in Najee Marshall has his 2-way contract converted to a multi-year deal. You're excited because a player who's done all the right things and has carried himself in a warrior-like way, in a true battler's way, creates opportunity for himself, and he sees the opportunities that our team gave him. Obviously, being shorthanded like we were, Najee played far more minutes than he otherwise would have. And I think what you've seen is we have a definite rotational piece and a young man that is willing to run through fire to win a basketball game, and that's exciting. It's exciting for Najee that he's set himself up in the way he has. Didi Lozada signing previously is another really exciting thing for us as a franchise. It was 2 years in the making, working very closely with the Sydney Kings. Their front office and their coaching staff has been remarkable to work with. And we think the results in Didi's growth and development as a player are staggering, quite frankly. And we're optimistic that he's going to be a focal point of our team and a key rotational piece moving forward. Unfortunately, given the injury situation we have, it might need to be much sooner than later. But again, it's exciting when a player like Didi, who has gone through everything he has and taken the steps he has to ensure his own development, is rewarded in the way he is. So again, part of what you love about what we do. Tonight, unfortunately, we just released something that's very frustrating, and it's not part of what you love about what we do. In the Zion Williamson news regarding his left hand. Obviously, Zion is left-handed, so it's a fairly significant situation for him. I'm really frustrated because this was avoidable. We told the NBA through every means available to us, through sending in film, through speaking to everybody in the officials department, everybody in basketball operations, that the way they were officiating Zion was going to get him injured. And quite frankly, he's injured now because of the open season that there's been on Zion Williamson in the paint. He has been absolutely mauled in the paint on a regular basis, to the point that other players have said to him, I'm going to keep doing this to you because they don't call it. So there is more violence encouraged in the paint against Zion Williamson than any player I've seen since Shaq. It was egregious and horrific then, and the same is true now. I'm particularly disappointed in myself and our organization. We did a very poor job, apparently, of explaining with the proper sense of urgency how severe this situation was from a league perspective. That's my fault. This situation is very much something that should have been able to be avoided if we were protecting our players in the way that we should be in the league. And this just was not done. So again, I'm very disappointed that he's not going to be available here for the foreseeable future anyway. But I'm more disappointed in us, quite frankly, that we weren't able to bring the appropriate sense of urgency to the league conversation around the way he was officiated. Brandon Ingram continues to work his way back from a left ankle inversion sprain that he suffered in the second Warriors game. I think many of you saw him leave the game. That injury is going to sideline him indefinitely. He's continuing to try to progress to play. Brandon, similarly to Zion, is a player that is willing to do anything to play and to support his teammates. Zion has been playing with an injury to his other hand that every other player I've ever been associated with would have had surgery already and shut themselves down. And he's a player that wanted to be available to his teammates so badly that he played through an injury that, quite frankly, nobody else would have played through. And what reward he got for that was injuring the other hand in a way that didn't need to happen at all. And in order for him to even bring it to our attention, it would have taken something akin to getting hit by a truck. And for him to bring it to our attention, I'm grateful that we found it and we could avoid any serious injury. But with that, I'll take any questions you have.
Hey, Griff, with the injury to Zion's left ring finger, when did it occur? When did he raise attention to you guys that it was hurting him?
He brought it to our attention prior to our departure that he was still experiencing soreness in the hand. Aaron Nelson and his team sort of rallied to make sure that we got the imaging necessary. Very grateful that Oshner was able to get him through the process and the timing that they did to reveal the injury. I believe he probably suffered the injury over a period of time. It's a striking injury and it's a blunt force injury. So he was being beaten on the hand over and over and over again. So for me to tell you one time, I don't think I can do that. I don't think he knows one time.
Hey, what's up, Griff? This is Will. How much has this dialogue been ongoing with the league? And you can sense the frustration with you. I guess what's their message been to the team as far as how he's been officiated?
So it's been ongoing throughout the year. I've had multiple conversations with multiple individuals that run the officials, individuals that run basketball operations. We've sent in film. So throughout the year, it's been an ongoing situation. Coach has actually had his staff sending in clips as well in an effort to protect Zion throughout this time. So it's been an ongoing effort. And again, I want to be clear, Will, and I appreciate the question. We failed. We did not protect him appropriately. We did not make the message clear enough because this was avoidable.
Hey, Griff, it's Andrew. I know you said it's hard to kind of pinpoint an exact issue, but I do remember him coming out in that last game. He subbed himself out. I think it was in the second quarter, comes back to play. Do you think that might have been, for lack of a better term, the breaking point of when it happened, or is it something that you...
Again, in fairness, Andrew, I can't say that. I don't think he could say that. It's an accumulation of a ridiculous amount of contact that players were making him aware they were doing on purpose.
Griff, one of the things that Stan has talked about all year is guys who play the game the right way, who don't flop and fall down. they don't seem to be getting rewarded, and the guys who do flop are getting rewarded. How frustrating is that from y'all's perspective that seems to be the case?
Yeah, it's frustrating. I think we have a problem as a league right now, and I think the league, to their credit, is aware of it relative to the imbalance in terms of the way the game's officiated. There's an enormous advantage for the offensive players that do a particularly good job of drawing attention to their contact. Unfortunately, the way you do that is in an abnormal way. You do that through unnatural acts. Again,
Flopping.
guys, I'm sure you can sense how upset I am. Zion does not have a technical foul all year. He was doing exactly what he was taught to do in terms of honoring the league's rules around decorum. He was respectful to officials. He was having conversations with officials using the language that the head of officiating told him to use. Brandon Ingram has met with the same director of officiating and had the same conversation, and Brandon continued not to get calls. People will tell you that it's a youth thing. They will tell you that it's a reputation thing. It's asinine is what it is. And when kids are getting attacked in the way they are, and in particular Zion was, this type of thing is going to happen. And I feel to some degree there is an I told you so element of what I'm saying to you right now. But yeah, you're right. If you flop, you tend to get more calls.
And you mentioned, the effort you guys had all season sending in the film, having discussions with the league. I mean, it's not like Zion's going to get any less physical. So, what do you guys have to do at this point to kind of get the league, on the same page where you can feel like he's starting to get the calls he should get?
So in non-COVID times, one of the things we do is we were able to, when Brandon first got here, Brandon was able to, he was playing at the time. He was able to visit with Monty McCutcheon and Kiki Vandeweghe in the league office. They were able to sit together and watch film. Brandon was able to walk through specific instances where contact was more severe than was being called. And the league listened to that. And I think for a period, we had some success in getting a better whistle there. So in a non-COVID time, one thing we'd certainly do is facilitate getting everyone together in the same room. I think there's a total lack of understanding of what it looks like. And I've heard officials say this to Stan. Look, the kid's a beast. He just brings about a bunch of contact. Okay, well, that doesn't have anything to do with what you're supposed to be calling. And I almost feel like they didn't know how to deal with someone so sudden and so strong. And so they sort of threw their hands up in the air. So I hope this is a signal that that's not what can happen. And we're going to have very real dialogue moving forward where we come to some understanding of what constitutes flagrant contact. And Brandon Ingram's been ejected from games for less contact than Zion gets on a repeated basis in the paint.
That's the Vice President of Basketball Operations, David Griffin, giving thoughts and analysis on what he perceives is happening with Zion Williamson that contributed to Zion's injury. And as you heard, Griffin quite disturbed as well. But I just have one statement to make based upon, actually two statements to make based upon that number. You already know, man. One of my statements, first statement is he mentioned the flopping. We just said that's what you're gonna have to do. That's what draws these people attention. You flopping, being a nice guy and doing all this kind of stuff, talking to them and telling them, "Excuse me, Mr. Referee, sir, that guy is over there fouling me, and he also said he's purposefully hitting my hand so that I be getting injured." Do you think that'll work? No, that doesn't work. You have to be.
I'm gonna pay attention now. Yeah, come on, get back in the play, young fella.
Right. That's not going to work. So what this is, this will definitely bring attention to it, and they might have to do this again. But they waited a long time. That's why Griffin was saying that he felt like he failed to a degree because they should have been bringing this up. And they said we went through all the. No, you obviously felt like it didn't work. You got to bring it to the forefront, to the media, and to people offset already. And then, of course, the second statement I would make is it would have been better to hear this from the general manager of the Pelicans, not from the vice president of the base. So what difference does it matter? It's a lot of difference. Where is this guy at? DC.
He's the vice president of basketball operations, Big Q.
Hold on,
And
DC.
that means
I can't hear you. I got to pull the window down.
is that you? Is that you, Trader? Is that you?
But it is what it is, man. We got to do something about that, man. What do you think about what Griffin said, bro?
I mean, I like what he said. I think he made a lot of valid points. I'm just on the fence whether I believe Zion. So he almost makes it sound like Zion had this injury and he was kind of downplaying it or hiding it from them because he wanted to play. That's how he made it sound. So I'm wondering if that's the case or if it's a case of are we just like shutting them down right now because they feel like even if we get in the plan, we're not gonna make a lot of noise. Are we trying to chase a draft pick, or is it everything we're being told with a normal organization? And if our general manager would have actually that guy, if he would actually be able to speak up, and maybe I feel different or I know exactly what's going on. But I mean, they clearly lying to us in the goddamn title. ESPN calling him the damn general manager, and we all know Trajan Langdon is the general manager.
Who?
Trajan Langdon.
Never heard of him.
Me neither. But that's who he is. He's supposed to be general manager, this guy. So David Griffin is out there as the VP of basketball operations telling us this. So I'm already being lied to in the damn title. So I don't know if I can believe everything you telling me. But let's say that is the case. And Zion, obviously, so what he's saying about the fouls, I mean, we all know that's true. I mean, I done seen Zion get hit in the head in one game multiple times. In one game. And nothing happened. They didn't even call a foul. I'm like, God damn.
Remember on that play?
How you dunk the ball and get hit in the head?
Remember we were supposed to win on that play? He got fouled on the play. If he'd have made that shot, we'd have tied the game. Well, actually, you'd have made that shot.
I think we would have won the game. If he would have hit both of the free throws. All he had to do was hit one to tie.
Right, and they didn't even call
it. Both of them, we'd have won it.
They didn't even call it. So, yeah, you're absolutely right.
That's why they didn't call it, because it would have, they're going to say that, you don't want to control the outcome of the game. Or
they do that all damn game long.
But they got this unforbidden rule. You don't want the game to end on a foul. Like, you know what I'm talking about. It's like this unforbidden rule. You don't want the game to end on a foul. But they had no problem doing it to us.
They did that to us with Washington.
They had no problem doing it to us with Rudy Gobert either. Twice last season.
With Russell Westbrook.
Ridiculous.
So, I mean, that
Zion literally did that to that boy for him, and they called a foul. But Zion going for a layup, and they take his whole damn hand off the screen, and that ain't a foul. Matter of fact, it wasn't even his hand. They took his forearm. Because now they saying, Zion hands can, they can maul the shit out of his hands because your hand is part of the ball. So that don't mean nothing, apparently. But they hit Zion wrists, his forearms. They hit him all in the head. They be hitting the man goddamn arms. They do everything but tackle him. I think that's next. They already tackled Morant. Y'all see what they did him the other day?
Terrible. It's a terrible situation going on.
You missed the part.
It's a little late in the game, though. A little late in the game.
He talked about Brandon Ingram, though. He was going to go on and talk about Brandon Ingram. He said, remember that game he got kicked out? He said a player went to shoot free throws, and the player told him, yeah, you hit me. You hit me real good in my hair. The game, he got ejected for basically hitting somebody in their hair, according to the player that got hit upside the head, supposedly. But, when it happened to us, we never did. Anybody ever get ejected for hitting us upside our goddamn head? And they was knocking Brandon Ingram goddamn headband off and shit. They don't give him calls either. It ain't just Zion. It's, I guess, like I said, Q, whatever going on with the Saints, it clearly done spilled over to the referees with the NBA. So we didn't just made it official. We're gonna have to get some Flock U zebra shirts. We're gonna have to rock out with it, bro. Because
trust me, it is.
We gotta embrace it now because we calling them out. So this could go one or two ways. And if the Saints are any indication, it sure in the hell ain't gonna get better.
Yeah, this is terrible, man. This is coming a little later than what I wanted to. I thought that the media blitz should have been something that should have happened prior to Zion, but they carpet this. A lot of these guys, they want to play by the rules and book. You got to step out and stand up. The hell with what the NBA talking about, a bunch of tight shirts talking about rules and regulations. The hell with your rules and regulations if you ain't enforcing them correctly. There is no integrity in any league unless the rules are enforced by a standard code of the way every game is, and they do a shitty job. Some of these referees need to be paid docked, and some of them need to be taking their jobs away if it's too hard for you to call a foul. I can get out there with a whistle, and I know what a foul looks like. Then you want to talk about if you want to help them and say, okay, well, we're going to challenge this, that, and the third. There have been plays when we've challenged fouls the referees didn't make, and then the referees will say that wasn't a foul, and they'll keep it going. What I'm saying is the referees the same in the NFL like it is in the NBA. The referees are just stooges. The guys on top tell these assholes what to do. I mean, I'm just keeping it real with you. And then when we get upset, we point at the referee. No, it ain't the referee. I mean, a lot of times they got good referees and they got a lot of shitty ones. For whatever reason, we keep getting these garbage ass referees who got all these millions of camera angles who can't take a look at the play to make sure they get it because they worrying about the game being too long or impacting the game in a negative fashion. But never mind that you're not making calls that's hurting the other team. The Pelicans, it was time when Zion Williamson was getting mauled and beaten. He gets 6 or 7 attempts at the free throw line. The other team would get 25 or 30. But to do some degree, it wouldn't make no difference because most of the time the Pelicans go to the line. They ain't hitting a large clip of the free throws anyway. So, I mean, you hitting 75, 73, 74% from the line. I mean, just look at it tonight. If you hit 2 more free throws, you tied. You hit a third, you win. I keep saying it over and over again. Defense, they kept the turnovers down. Defense it was all right. It could have been a little bit better today. We had a few unforced errors in there that hurt us. But charity stripe is free. You're a professional. You're supposed to know how to hit a higher clip of these. There's nobody standing in front of you. There is nobody. You don't convert because out of the pressure of people just watching you, there are no physical hands waving in your face to obstruct that shot. So if you can't hit free throws at a high clip, you need to get your ass back to business. And I've been saying this for a while. It's the same fundamental thing that I keep saying over and over again. Keep your turnovers down, play defense, and hit your free throws. And then all else of everything that you won't teach, whether it's defense or offensive principles, are based on top of that foundation of what I just said about playing defense, keeping your turnovers down, and hitting your free throws. Several games this year, we'd have won clearly if we'd had hit more free throws. We've got to get better at the fundamentals. We're going to be a mediocre team for the duration if we don't get better at the fundamentals. This is the fundamental stuff. Just fundamental. So I mean, it is what it is. DC, we're going to cut the show down. You want to add something to that?
Man, you covered it in a nutshell. You done went from California all the way to New York, bro. I ain't following that. You dead on though, man. And I mean, it's accurate, Brian. It's a mess, man. And the only way I feel like we can change this is as fans just to keep calling it out, man, and stay consistent and stay on it. You know what I'm saying? You force their hand to do something. So, and also you show the players that you got their back and you understand what's going on and that this shit ain't normal.
No, and that's a part of it because that's what and listen, y'all know me. I am against playing it straight with these carpeters because carpeters, what they do is
you're right about that, Julio. It is difficult to hit your free throws with a broke hand, Q. We wonder why he started missing.
Yeah, but he ain't the only one not missing his free. That's not hitting his free throws. That's not just Zion. Steven Adams is a bunch of them. Is Big Chief Bleeding Sore? It's a bunch of them not hitting their free throws.
You gonna call Steven Adams ain't no free throw shooter now. Eric Bledsoe, I don't know. He just
there he come the checks.
He on and off all the goddamn. What you mean? I ain't getting him no out. I don't expect Eric Bledsoe to hit them goddamn free throws. I expect shit out of Eric Bledsoe. Is what I'm saying. Matter of fact, I'll be so happy when I get anything decent out of him, and I come in here, I talk him up. Y'all start saying the man paying me. I'm just happy he gave us something for $18 million, man. I came on here one show. I was trying to do positive affirmations on the show. Like, I'm gonna just say good shit about Eric Bledsoe today. Maybe, just maybe, he'll play better.
Well, you know what, DC?
I got him playing better defense because I spoke up for him.
Well, you know what, DC? Let me tell you something. Let me keep it real with you. It probably be a lot better if Chief Bledsoe do his own affirmations, because you somehow love and blessings to him. But that gives him the real seriously the serious impact.
That shit ain't work, Big Q. That's why he went back to me.
No, I'm saying, but sending blessing somebody away helps them to a degree. But the person that's going through it, they have to step up and step out into that mindset, because most of the times, not everything we're gonna do it to some things are a little higher than others, some things are a little lower. But being consistent and persistent, those things, that's a skill. Many people don't understand that consistency is a skill that everybody's capable of, and it's there. It's about taking it serious. You know, what would we be if the Pelican post-game report, and to use the Pelican post-game report as a reference? Pelican post-game report is consistent. Every game we're here talking about the Pelicans. No matter how late it is, you can turn on the Pelican post-game report after these matches.
One Pelican post-game report every 20 games. How y'all feel about that?
That'll be a joke. You have a 5-hour show recapping 20 games. Y'all ready for the next Pelican post-game report? What the hell is you talking about, bro? What are you doing over here?
We gonna talk about 20 games at once.
Yeah, man. We're gonna just pause it and we're gonna wait, and then 5 games. When the season over with, we're gonna recap the next 5 games. And have that ridiculous enthusiasm. Like, man, what are you talking about, Q? That's totally not. That's a failed stratagem, son.
Did y'all know that Zion scored 37 points 6 days ago? It was amazing.
How you gonna get them excited? How the hell you gonna get them excited about something that happened a month ago? They're gonna be like, Q, what the hell are you talking? Man, he scored 35 points a month ago. Nah, man. Consistency and persistence, that's a skill, man. That's a skill. You got to be able to, and everybody has that stuff. You got to be able to take shit serious. That's what it comes down to. It's about getting on code, man. It's about getting on code of what's important, and then putting together a proper stratagem, and then execute, and putting all of the things that's non-essential, as they would say, or not as important as what you're looking at aside, and focusing on those things that are trill. That means getting on code. I keep using the term getting on code, because that's what it is. Everything that is anything is codified, man. Only things that are not are going to die. And this world is on code. Whether it's good or bad, it's on code. The referees calling these shitty games on the Pelicans, they're on code. You might be a dysfunctional code for you, but it might be a functional code for them. See, not everybody benefits here. But their mindset, just to let the family members know, we're not corporatist minded. I don't believe in that, because the corporatists, they only want it their way. And then they'll try to trick you into thinking that their way is the best way. See, we can give this value for you if you could simply do this for us. And then both streams play into them, and then you don't get benefited. They'll pay assholes to try to get you to twist your mind to do this. That's why they use them cocksucking. I ain't gonna even get into it. These celebrities and these entertainers that you thinking they're so cool, they'll pay their smelly asses to promote something to you, and just because they know you like them, you'll buy their product or believe they bunk. They do this all the time. They think that they can buy your mentality, but you can't buy the real, baby. And when all them plastic ass corporates and them fake ass corporate activist people who get money from the corporations, who making deal with the corporations, that's getting money and funding and using countries or companies that's slave labor, and then they're gonna stand up before you and pretend like they for liberation and freedom. Get your ass out of here, man. How you for that man liberation, but you getting slave labor from that man? So slave that man and free that man. No, we don't play that here, man. We don't play. We got brains here. We don't believe that bunk and that bull. And I've been telling y'all about the referees. That's why we've been hammering them like you do. I told y'all I don't like the NFL referees and the NBA. They're the same people. They operate the same way. It's the same premise. It's just a different sport.
What's the name of that fella? They had a guy who wrote a book explaining Donovan. Explaining the whole
thing. They banned him.
Said it all open, bro.
He did, and they try to ridicule a man and say that he was dissing. No, man, cut that out, man. Cut it out. It's a bunch of bunk. It's a bunch of.
That's the part of the game the only part that make it fake. You know what I'm saying? The referees control that, man, and it's like it just takes away from just the joy and the fun of the game, man. It should be even rules across the board for everybody as far as fouls. Like we gonna have to dictate what's a foul or what's not a foul. If you want to let
You tell me that
everybody
can't be
play,
the case. How old is the league is, DC? How old it is? You're gonna sit up here and
the NBA,
pretend.
what about 75, 80
You're gonna
years
sit up
old?
here and pretend and tell me that we don't know how to officiate Zion Williamson. Are you kidding me? So you mean to tell me Zion was the only big burly some gun that came in the
Pastor
league?
Q.
You know what I'm saying? That came in the league, that then league is 70-something years old, don't know how to officiate Zion Williamson. We don't know what we doing. But you had Shaq in the league, Wilt Chamberlain in the damn league. You had Charles Barkley in the league. You had all these fierce players, and not even
Daryl Dog.
all right, you had all these fierce guys, and not even the ones that are well known. You had lesser known guys that were just as physical. The Charles Oakley, the Xavier McDaniels, and all these other guys that came in the league that were as physical. Now Zion is a specimen, but what I'm saying is you don't know how to officiate physicality. Is that what we are? We gonna believe this bunk?
Well, not with the new rules, Big Q. Since we implemented the
Oh,
new
that's a
rules
bunch
in
of that's a bunch
2012, we've
of
changed and we went away from the hand checking. Those were the olden days where we did things a little different. Now you have to be very careful because you're walking on eggshells. The perimeter players have to be guarded because they can come down and hurt their ankle. So you can't slide under them and it won't be a call. But if a guy like, in the mold of a Karl Malone, if he's this Zion Williamson, if he goes in, I mean, they're basically just hitting his shoulders. He's broad, he's big, he
he
can
can
take
take
it.
it.
He can take it. It doesn't knock him off the centrifugal force of his
But
gravity.
LeBron
He's
James
still
cried.
moving in the air.
But
He
LeBron
gotta do
James,
all this when he get hit, Q. If he ain't doing this when he get
right,
hit,
right. You
they
got
ain't calling that shit.
right. You and
That's
look,
basically what they're gonna take.
but look what LeBron does.
You gotta fake it.
LeBron
You
does
gotta
all
be
that.
fake. Well,
He
yeah,
does all that.
LeBron get hit, and that's one thing. I get it why he do it, but I hate it when he started because LeBron didn't always do that. I hate it
Yeah,
when
but
he
he
started getting
started
hit. He
doing
was
that
like,
because no, but he was doing
No,
that
I'm
because
sorry,
they
hating
wasn't
that,
making
man.
the calls.
You're right,
He
man.
ain't just
You're
faking
right.
he ain't faking the front. If they was giving the calls, it's no need for him to do the Hollywood
I
thing.
hate it though, bro. It looks so phony. It looks so feminine. It looks so weak. Like we know when that dude hits you, it didn't send you flying like that. Like you ain't fooling nobody with this shit. You know what I'm saying? I
It
don't.
is.
I hate it, dog. I hate it.
But it is what it is, fam. We played Griffin. Some of that I believe in, but then when you heard him, he was moonwalking back. Some of it, I don't think they know how to officiate him. Man, shut up.
Trying to duck that fine. He
Right,
started trying to duck the fine at the
shut
end.
up. Shut up with that. Stop trying to. That's the problem.
Cheap
When
ass. Just pay the money,
right,
man, and say what
yeah,
you want
right,
to say.
right. Stand up for something, man. Listen, bro. If something wrong, don't let them tell you how to. Like it's really crazy to me. I watch people if they feeling something was wrong, if they were wrong for whatever it is, you gonna let that other man tell you how to speak up against it? Well, you can do this, but you better not do this. It's really crazy to me to watch stuff that happened and the scene explode, and then you have some entertainer who's or athlete that's detached from the situation, living in some country club somewhere, come out and say, "Hey, y'all, calm it down. Stop. These people living in abject poverty over here. You coming out of the country club telling them to calm down. You know what I'm saying? You shut your ass up and stay out of that. And it's just it's a part of it, like in the game, and they call yourself doing the service by diffusing something. No, it fused for a reason. It's fused for a reason. Sometimes things fuse for a reason. In the past, when things fuse for a reason, and we ain't talking about original or real situations that occur, change happens from it. Like if you keep doing this, meaning if they keep speaking out against it, it'll draw attention to it, and they'll start watch the calls come.
Right.
Because you cannot remain silent, and people they will see that as
That's how it
weakness,
work,
and they'll
man.
keep doing it. That's how it works.
You get the public on your side. Like us as fans, we have it. Unfortunately, with the Saints, a lot of people, some people get it, but a lot of people say the Saints, we whine about calls and stuff when it's clearly they be cheating. But with Zion, I think the NBA is a little easier because you have people that like particular players, even though they may have another team. So if a lot of people like Zion. So if everybody start calling him out, you got millions and millions of fans saying the same
They will
thing.
back him up.
Then just to just to shed it up, Zion will be the one dude that don't have to flop to get a call because they're like, look, we're gonna have to reformat everything if we don't just give them the damn calls.
Just call a damn game the way like when in it's so egregious because we understand that that the referees aren't going to be perfect. But when you seen him got popped upside his head that time when he was trying to get that shot there, and like what happened with Dwight Howard when he knocked him down, Dwight Howard should have been ejected in my opinion for that. He should have been thrown out of that. He should have been thrown out.
Julio brings up an interesting point, man. Julio saying that they wanted to get Z to a popular team. You know, what a disgrace. And that could be a part of it, man. I mean, it could be allowing him not to get calls so he can get frustrated and look at things as if it's all the Pelicans to get him to a major market and all of that. Who knows, man? I don't 100% think that's it, but could be something in the works. But it's definitely something fishy with it because they got other players that get hit that ain't even popular, and they get hit with less force, and they call it for them. So it's like, why won't you call it for this guy?
Right.
And then if you're looking at it like it's just a Zion thing, we can go back and David Griffin, if y'all want to watch the rest of the interview, family, he starts to talk about Brandon Ingram because we all know too, Brandon Ingram get hacked too. Maybe he don't get hit as hard as Zion, but he gets a lot of fouls on him that they don't call too. It'd be obvious, like you see the man shooting, they didn't hit his hand, the ball go all to the left and stuff. And Brandon Ingram don't never shoot air balls. That's one dude on the team I could say that I don't never really shoot an air ball. Most of the time, when he shoot an air ball, if it wasn't a legitimate block, he got fouled. You know what I'm saying? And you see him, he don't complain all the time, but when you see him do all this, the dude probably got fouled because Brandon Ingram is kind of like Zion a little bit. He don't be doing all that complaining for nothing. You know, so it ain't just him. It's a lot of guys. And then poor Najee Marshall, bro. I swear to God, every time Najee Marshall go in for a layup, they just foul his ass. They don't ever call nothing.
Yeah, well,
it's just a free lick right here.
Well, that's a trade-off for them not calling him for all the traveling he be doing. So I mean, it's just
that man keep a suitcase with him.
That boy got listen. That he don't have to live out his suitcase no more. But boy, that's a traveler. There, I would ask him and find out what degree of Mason he is because that some gun is a traveler, man, through and through. Boy, that dude there. That's why he don't complain. You know, man, he let me make it with all this damn traveling I be doing. He traveling in his sleep. He running around. He traveling in his sleep. Anyway,
man, he has sights here, bro. He just like to see the sights, bro.
Yeah, that's why you don't complain about what you getting hacked in there. You're like, man, I bet not. I'll get called for 3-4 travelers a game. You know, it's a trade-off. But anyway, listen, fam, we're gonna stop it on that, man. I like to appreciate I thank all you guys from the flock for chiming in on this one. And listen, fam, we got the gear coming up real soon. By next weekend, we got several different designs on the Pelican gear coming. I know it's late in the year, but still in all, it's not too late to be a Pelicans family member. True and true. That's not through and through. True and true. And that's what we're doing here. We got that going on. We got the Pelican gear that be popping up, not this weekend, Mother's Day weekend, but the next weekend we'll have some gear available at the Pro Shop Pelican style. We have the link. We'll put the link in the community
Flock
section.
The refs.
Yeah, we got several shirts disrespecting the referees. You know how we do. And we got some other Pelican flock, get the flock out of here, and all this kind of stuff. We got some stuff coming for y'all. Y'all will really enjoy it. So with that being said, I thank you guys for chiming in on the Pelican Post Game Report. DC, another fantastic show. You want to do the phrase that pays, or you want to let me to do it?
I'm gonna let you do it today. We gonna start having a back and forth because I can't do it how you do it.
You do it great,
man. You got a special guest that come with you, bro. That always show up.
She ain't here today, bro. She mad.
Ain't here today, you sure?
She sleep, dog. It's 12:12 Central Time. She sleep.
Well, you go ahead and close it out how you want to close it out.
She told him to get out of here on the Pelican. I mean, on the rink, the sports coma earlier today. She told him, "You got to get out of here." She let him know. She sleep though. But big ups to the fam. Listen, man. We're gonna start off by saying, listen, if they talk about your Pelicans, you tell them in the New York accent.
All right.
To get the flock out of here and go flock yourself.
Oh.
All right, family. Thank y'all for joining us. DC is flying away. He's flying away.
See y'all later, flock.
He's trying to go find Trajan Langdon. That's what he's trying to go and do. Find out where the hell he at. I'll tell you what, DC, the first place you need to go find Trajan Langdon is, you gotta go look at the janitorial office there and find where the brooms and the mops are, because 9 times out of 10, he probably he's the manager of the gym. He managing the custodians.
You're in the wrong place, bro. I know where Trajan Langdon at. Trajan Langdon is in the recording studio where there's a soundproof booth. He sleeps in there.
For what?
Never, so you can never hear him.
That's messed up.
He's sleeping there with all the equipment off, Big U.
That's messed up. You done went too far. All right. So appreciate the fam for chiming in on this one. We'll see you guys later, a couple days from now. Matter of fact, next one is Sunday. I won't say next upcoming matchup.
Yeah.
Against the LaMelo Ball and the Hornets, man. So we'll be here.
Battle of the balls.
We'll be back here for another victorious episode of the Pelican Post Game Report. So much love to the family. Y'all have a good night, and we'll see you Sunday. Peace. Go Pels.
You're listening to the Pelican